Hey everybody, it's John Hope Bryant. I see folks beginning to sign on. John Hope Bryant, founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Operation Hope, America's first nonprofit social investment bank and financial services network for the poor, the underserved, the struggling class, the teetering class, folks with too much month at the end of their money. A network for you, to empower you to help yourself. Also, an entrepreneur, philanthropist, and author of How the Poor Can Save Capitalism, Rebuilding the Path to the Middle Class, and a couple other books. I'm going to reveal today to you a top 10 secret, if you will, for success. It's not really a secret, but nobody will just be blunt and tell you, because I guess they want to have this fanciful, mystical reason of why people succeed. So I'm going to just come to you straight. One of the major reasons for success, or real success, is, let me put it another way, exhausting. Real success is exhausting. If you're an entrepreneur, and by the way, I'm not complaining. I love my life, so I'm not complaining about it. But make no bones about it. People who think my life is glamorous are mistaken. Real success is exhausting. Success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. And an entrepreneur works 18 hours a day to keep from getting a real job. And even if you have a 9 to 5 and you have another dream and passion for your life, your 9 to 5 will finance your 5 to 9. Your 9 to 5 job will finance your 5 to 9. I see some folks signing on. Sandra is signing on, and Romaine and Robin and Matthew. Hello to all of you. I'll try to deal with some of the questions that you register as I get into this. Let me tell you why this topic is important today. So today's Saturday, and most people are relaxing on Saturday. Today, me and my assistant, Sir James, went out for a 2-hour drive out of Atlanta to North Georgia to spend 1 hour with a family who lost their 96-year-old grandmother. Tommy Dortch and his family, the Dortch family, lost their grandmother. And listening from Huntsville, Tennessee, that's David Jones. Hey, David. They lost their grandmother. The grandmother's been promoted, gone to a better place. But I thought, with all that Tommy Dortch does for everybody else, that we should do a little bit for him, that the world should show him that he's important, that he matters, and that I love him. And so I decided I wanted to show up, which meant Sir James had to show up with me. And neither one of us wanted to get up this morning and drive 2 hours out and 2 hours back on a Saturday. But that's what love is. Love is work, non-love is laziness, and anti-love is evil. Evil exists, but it's very rare. Most people are just lazy. Financially lazy, spiritually lazy, emotionally lazy, psychologically lazy, economically lazy, physically and financially lazy. They just don't want to do the work. Love is work. I guarantee you, love is work, non-love is laziness, anti-love is evil. Let me get into my week and explain to you a bit about what I mean. So Monday was a holiday, but I was working. I was writing the last section of my new book, or the last chapter of my new book. Tuesday, Tuesday, I thought I would be able to unpack my life, and I was told that Tuesday I had to fly to Ohio because the governor of Ohio decided that's when he wanted to meet with me. So I got on a plane and flew for a lunch meeting in Ohio. Now that might have been Tuesday I think I might have been flying on Wednesday to Ohio to meet Governor John Kasich. And versus presuming I thought I knew who he was, assuming I thought I knew who he was, having a bias about who I thought who he was, I was open to who I thought I was going to meet. And I found I met a pretty decent guy. I found a guy who came from poor immigrant Eastern European parents, whose dad was a mail carrier, who, like many people, have been allowed to live the American dream. Do we agree on everything politically? No. But do we agree on a lot of things that matter? Yes. Does he want to eradicate poverty? He held a poverty summit 3 weeks before I got there. But this is not the guy who would assume would hold a summit on poverty. But you won't know that till you give somebody the benefit of the doubt, until you forge a relationship, until you open that door and allow somebody to walk through it. And so we end up taking a 30-minute meeting and it turning into an hour and a half meeting with me and members of his cabinet. And now we're talking about bringing our work into counties in Ohio. Yay. And having him potentially come and speak at our annual meeting. Yay. That was, let's say, Wednesday. And I want to thank Steve Steinauer and Barbara and the folks at Huntington Bank for doing that, because they didn't have to do it either. And they arranged this on 24 hours notice. Then I had a lunch meeting after that. Then I flew back to Atlanta. That evening, I had dinner with a loved one, was exhausted. After that, still had to do some work. The next day, I'm in my office in Atlanta. Yes, my staff thought I would not be coming in the office, fooled you, because I had to set the role model for them working, all right? And then I had to fly to Arkansas. And that was yesterday. I flew Thursday night to Little Rock, Arkansas, to announce with my partner, the Delta Regional Authority, my friend Chris Massengale, the partnership to open 6 new Hope Inside offices serving Louisiana, urban and rural, black and white, Mississippi, urban and rural, black and white, and Tennessee, urban and rural, mostly rural, black and white. 6 offices open, partner with them. Now that was a Democratic announcement with a Democratic administration, theoretically. On Friday, I met with a Republican administration on Wednesday. We had the same conversation about the same things. We found common ground. I then did a press conference after that on yesterday, then had a lunch after that, then had a call with Facebook executives, had another teleconference with First Tennessee executives who are flying out to see me on Monday, and then rocketed to the airport for a flight that I was going to make by only about 35 minutes. Guy stops me in the airport, a police officer, one of the Facebook followers, so I was honored to stop, take a picture with him, have a conversation with him. Even though I had to get through security, he wanted his time. He deserved to have all of my attention, as you deserve now, and I'm giving you my total attention. And we were able to have a nice 5 to 7 minute quality conversation. I had calculated how long it would take me to get to the through security and all that kind of stuff. And I was able to make my flight with no drama, give him his time, give him his photo, and give him a quality experience, and get on that plane and get back to Atlanta. And I have to think about this because it's such a blur. I get back here, and then Sir James and I had things to do last night. I had work to do, and I ended up doing teleconferences until 12:45 last night on some international stuff that we got cooking, both at Operation Hope at Bryan Group. Now, mind you, I'm not complaining. My life is fantastic. When you do what you love, it's not work. You're only tired when you don't do what you love. If you are looking at this video and go, my God, just listening to him makes me tired, then you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You're not in your zone. You see, because when you find your life purpose as a young person, then you can get yourself, your identity project. You can get yourself out of the hood. You can get yourself out of a poor neighborhood. You can reclaim your life. Donnie says, amen. Find your identity purpose. If I don't like you, I'm not gonna. If I don't like me, I'm not gonna like you. If I don't feel good about me, I'm not gonna feel good about you. If I don't respect me, I'm not gonna respect you. If I don't have a purpose in my life, I'm gonna make your life a living hell. The purpose project comes after your identity project. You've got to have a purpose in your life that's larger and more important than yourself. And that's what got me up this morning, exhausted as I was. Went bed late last night, got up this morning, and I could have slept all day. By the way, you sleep too much, that's called depression. You sleep too much, you actually be tired. I sleep enough so that I'm re-energized, but I don't sleep so much that I get tired again. But I could have come up with, and this is very important now, folks, I could have come up with every excuse not to get up this morning to go to this memorial service. First of all, I don't like funerals. I don't like memorial services. I like living, celebrating life, dancing people off, and being engaged in my mission. But I knew that my boy Tommy Dortch, who wouldn't ask for support, I knew he deserved support, and I would have driven to the end of the earth to be with him. And so I was available. I dragged myself up this morning. I dragged Sir James up. Thank you, Sir James. You did it voluntarily. And we got in the car and drove. But by the way, to rationalize is to tell rational lies. To rationalize, listen now, is to tell rational Lies. Well, I'm tired. Well, they won't miss me. Well, that doesn't really matter. Thank you for the knowledge, Antoine Norman says. Thank you for listening. Mary from Alaska, living your purpose. Amen. God bless you. Lance Tilton signing in. So they won't miss me. It won't matter whether I'm there or not. What if this was a big one. There was ice on the ground this morning. It was freezing outside. Oh, what about the black ice? What about the traffic on the freeways? What if I get into an accident? You know, this always just drives me crazy. It's like people give up before they even try. Well, why clean up? I'm just going to get dirty. Why go to sleep? I'm just going to get tired. Why go to work? I'm just going to get fired. They won't appreciate me. Why give all my effort and all my energy? They won't recognize me. No one's going to give me a promotion. I mean, why show up to this funeral? No one's going to even know I'm there. See, that's just depression. That's disrespecting yourself. It doesn't really matter, by the way, whether somebody appreciates you. It matters that you show up. What did Dr. King say when he was in the Poor People's Campaign in Memphis? He said, stand up, because no one can ride your back unless you're bent over. You see what I'm saying? It's about how you roll. It's about how you flow. It's not about how somebody else flows with you. It's not about how somebody treats you. It's about how you treat yourself. Because life is 10% what life does to you and 90% how you choose to respond to it. See what we got coming in here. Just got a laugh out of that. Somebody said, be rich, 2 million excuses that we can't use. Exactly. Claudia Foxworth, no excuses. Exactly. Marvin Trice. Yes. So, so I got up and, the weather report suggested, well, it might be a little dicey, but another side of the weather report, if you look at it another way, said there are no accidents. The freeways are not closed. It didn't say stay at home. But if you just looked outside and you wanted an excuse for not going, I could have said 10 different reasons why I'm not going to go. And by the way, my friend would have excused me because he doesn't want me to risk my life. But love is work. Remember I said that? Non-love is laziness and anti-love is evil. Love is work. Nothing good comes easy. Whatever you love is going to drive you crazy. You love your family, they're going to drive you crazy. Let's have an honest conversation now. You love your children, you're going to want to strangle them every Tuesday. You love your wife or your husband, you're going to want to divorce every, third Wednesday. Okay? Yes, indeed, Vladimir says. You love your job, or you love what your job gives you, a salary or an income. You're going to want to quit every Friday. You love your friends, they're going to break your heart twice a year. Whatever you love your country, she's going to break your heart. You're going to have to make this democracy what you want it to be. Rainbows only follow storms. Loss creates leaders, and nothing good comes easy. Let's see what questions we have here. Michael says every day. Nicole, JT Rogers, amen. So nothing good comes easy, right? The book, The Road Less Traveled, Scott Peck, been on the bestseller list for 25 years, says life is difficult. Translation, if you can't get with that statement, don't read the rest of the book. So I showed up this morning, we got on the road, and the roads were fine. In fact, the sun came out, became a beautiful day. We made a road trip out of it, said if the roads were bad, we just turn around and call it an adventure. We got there 5 minutes or 10 minutes after the program started, sneaked in the back, heard all of the program, This Glorious Life of Miss Dortch, with 7 generations of family that she has brought in this world, Tommy Dortch being one of the elder statesmen in the family, who's a great entrepreneur here in Atlanta. And after the service was over, I just went up and gave Tommy a hug, and he was like, hey, it was cool, hey, good to see you, and his wife, Carol. So it was like we got a marching band and everything, but by the way, it wasn't about the reception that we got, right? And then Emmanuel Lewis, the actor, was there, and it was about 100 people, but all these folks drove 2 hours to get there because most people didn't live in the area. And then later on, Tommy's like, hey, can you come by my birth house? And so we went over there and hung out for a minute, and it became obvious that it was actually special that his friends showed up. Now, he wasn't going to beg nobody, but I think that those little gestures matter. You're showing what you're made of. You're showing who you are. You're showing that you're about something larger and more important than yourself. You're showing appreciation. You're showing respect. And by the way, whatever goes around comes around. You can't expect somebody to do for you what you haven't done for somebody else. How do you expect somebody to show up in your life if you haven't showed up in theirs? Boom, bingo. So real success in life is exhausting. I'm busy after this video. I'm busy for half a day tomorrow. I have another business meeting tomorrow night for a group I got called Just Brothers. And then I'm back at it on Monday, and I got to do some writing in between. Let me see here. William Karma says, Derek, I missed that note, but I'll get that in the comments later. But I love my life, and you should love your life. And only if you're listening to this or watching this and going, I'm tired watching this, then you're on the wrong channel. If you go to work on Monday and by noon you're tired, not exhausted, you're tired, you're at the wrong job. I'll tell you something. I get worn out. I get beat up. I need to take a power nap every now and then, all that kind of stuff, okay? But I don't get tired. I can get where I can't type another word on the keyboard and I just need to stop. My battery is depleted, right? Because we're all energy. And I need to go rest and get repleted. I missed that comment, but I'll catch it in the replay, and I'll respond to all these comments. But I don't get tired, because when you're tired, you're not in your zone. You're not in your identity project. You're not in your purpose project. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing in life. If you are tired, you are depressed. You are distressed, and you need to find a larger purpose for your life. It's larger and more important than yourself. Sandra just weighed in on a comment. So I just wanted to inspire you, for those who say, I'm worn out, these kids are wearing me out. They're supposed to wear you out. My job is wearing me out. It's supposed to wear you out. My friends are disappointing me. Well, that's what friends do. We don't love because of, we love in spite of. William Hodge says, I've changed the way I'm thinking. Fantastic. Actually, I think I know William Hodge. William Hodge is a new follower. I think I met that young man in a restaurant. That's the same William Hodge. If it is William, weigh in. And I invested a little bit of pocket change and a lot of intellect into this guy, and he's going to make me proud. I'm sure. William, that's you. You weigh in. Let me know that you're paying attention. But whatever you do is going to break your heart. You try to help somebody, going to kick you in the teeth. Fridays. Yep. William Hodge. It's the same dude. I'm not going to tell his story, tell his business, but William Hodge is an inspiration. He's a young man trying to take care of his family halfway across the country. Was a little short on money, but not short on ambition, talent, time, passion for his life, and is living his truth, and sent a wonderful note that I got a copy of to his daughter, child, encouraging them to think big, and he was going to take them to Europe one of these days, and really being the role model that he wants them to see in this world. And he's paying his obligations, and now he's going to operational classes, and I'm very proud of you, William. Just know that you're a young black man who's going to make a difference in this world, and all I did was believe in you because I know you believe in you, and I'm great to see you're following the series. So no matter what you do, no good deed shall go unpunished. You try to do good for somebody, they're going to kick you in the teeth and not going to appreciate you. I was in a relationship years ago, 15 years ago, with a young lady who had a substance abuse problem. And she cursed me out. I mean, her and her friends, so-called friends, cursed me out because I was interrupting the structure of their life and all the fun that she was allowing her friends to have on her dime. And but she calls me every 2 weeks and leaves a message, and I don't answer because typically, unfortunately, she still has a substance abuse problem. But it's interesting that I'm still on her mind, not because of me and not because of our relationship, but because she knows I genuinely cared for her, and I cared for enough for her to risk her not liking me and having her friends hate me. And all her so-called friends didn't help her get into a substance abuse program. We did, me and Reverend Murray, and hopefully help to get her life in a new direction. But you're not going to get credit for being a good person, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be a good person. Because karma's real. Because whatever goes around comes around. I got the hardcover book, Yuan LeJour said. Fantastic. So look, this is not going to be an easy road. If success was easy, everybody would be doing it. This is going to be tough. This is going to be difficult. Come see me at Pacific Rim Bistro. I'll come see you. That's my man, William Hodge again. But that doesn't mean that the road is not worth traveling. In fact, you can't grow without legitimate suffering. You cannot grow without legitimate suffering. Nothing good comes easy. And if you're a minority in this country, I'll tell you this, and while this message is for everybody, maybe if you're a minority, you're feeling a little put upon, and I got one little more story for you, and I'm going to let you go. Know this, you've been doing so much with so little for so long, you can almost do anything with nothing. You've been doing so much with so little for so long, you can almost do anything with nothing. Never, ever, 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 ever give up. Over it, around it, through it, you're going to get to it because you're a winner. You're not just going to survive, you're going to thrive because rainbows only follow storms and loss creates leaders. And all wealth in this country came from poor people. I'm going to do that as a separate video. I know that I just said it was just fried your brain. But all wealth, that didn't, with the exception of wealth that came from crime, from government contracting and war, came from poor people. What do you think Walmart came from? If not a poor a farmer named Sam Walton with a pickup truck in a storefront and a high school education? What do you think UPS came from, except Jim Casey with $100 and a bicycle? What do you think Jet Magazine and Ebony Magazine came from, except Mr. Johnson with a $500 loan from his mother? And I can go on and on and on. Because because these immigrants and minorities came in this country and didn't have a place to plug into the power structure, they just couldn't go have their friend hook them up. They had to hook themselves up. And every big business was once a small one. Getting off topic, let me get back on the topic. So I went to this small town. So be curious about everything. Be curious about everything. Everybody you meet, be fascinated with them. As I was with the governor and everybody else I made this week. And you'll find good things when you decide the glass is half full, not half empty, when the world's about what you have to give, not what you have to get. When you see the world as an opportunity and not just a torture chamber for you for your daily existence. So I went to this small town today where Tommy Dortch, where his mother was laid to rest, where she grew up. And I want to say the name of the town properly, so I'm going to look it up on my calendar just so I can pronounce the name of the town properly. It is Toccoa, T-O-C-C-O-A. Look that up, Toccoa, Georgia. I didn't know anything about this small town, but get this. Toccoa, Georgia was founded in 1725. It was, you might guess from the word, Cherokee Indian land. It was first discovered in 1725, and it was actually named after a dry lake, so it wasn't seen to be a lot of opportunity there. 100 years later, it was incorporated, and then by the way, President, I think it was Roosevelt, went there on his way to Warm Springs. If that's the president who had polio, was on his way to Warm Springs, went there on the train. I'm getting ahead of myself, but he actually went to Toccoa and the only president ever to stop there and give a speech. But before he got there and before the trains were there was a rumor that trains were coming in or through Toccoa, and three entrepreneurs. This area had been just ignored for 150 years. Three entrepreneurs, one of which was from Atlanta, went and bought 1,700 acres that nobody wanted. That was near where the railroad was going in. And they became the founders of the town we now call Toccoa. And they sold those lots and created the town and became filthy rich. And so when you see a town or a city, you think a government created it. In all likelihood, some entrepreneur, some landowner, some developer put a stake in the ground and decided that that was a great strategic place for a new community. In this particular case, it was a gold rush going through that area, the Georgia Gold Rush. Do research on that. And yes, the Native American Indians probably got their rear ends whipped and some of that land stolen. So I'm going to acknowledge that. But 100 years later, these other entrepreneurs came through and bought the land from who I don't know. But they, to this day, one of the top 20 employers in Toccoa is one of the families of the three people who founded that city. And people go through Toccoa all day and all night. I'm not sure they ever do that research. I'm never sure they ever actually figure out what I just figured out. It took me 2 hours to figure out just by being curious about Toccoa. Be curious about your life. Wherever you go, whoever you talk to, do your research with who you meet. And decide whether you're going to be a cash checker or a check casher or a check writer. These three entrepreneurs decided to be check writers, not check cashers. They became owners of this town, which is now creating GDP for America and is really a minority city today, creating the likes of Tommy Dortch. questions in the comments in post this video. I hope that you've enjoyed this. Exhaustion can be a wonderful thing. It is for me. I've had a good full day, and I'm going to have a good full night, and you should too. Over to Rounded to it, you're going to get through it. This is a Civil Rights series, straight talk, civil rights, unbought and unbossed, coming to you straight and no chase. Civil rights movement is coming to a town near you. Watch 2017. We're on fire. We're going to be opening almost, well, I don't want to say how many offices, but I'm going to just say it's a lot. We announced 6 offices just yesterday in 3 states. Civil rights is real. The Freedmen's Bank is real. Our movement is real. Giving people a hand up and not just a hand out, a movement in the suites, not just the streets, about civil rights, about economic uplift, because the color is not white, black, red, brown, and yellow today. It's green. I'm out.